Hello, everybody. On the screen with me right now is Norm. He's dealing with something that a lot of you watching right now have been dealing with, bullying in schools, but this is kind of an extreme case. It's good to see you, sir.
It's good to see you too. Thank you.
Yeah, so you have one child or you have several children?
We have three children in the school district.
Okay. And we're talking the Merrill School District, which is in Saginaw County, Michigan, kind of like in the middle of the state, kind of, right? Kind of.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Oh, okay, for those of you who don't know, so you have an elementary. I'm not going to say her name, but I'll just say an elementary school student, a girl, and
Yep.
she's going to school there, and there's been issues. Has there always been issues or trouble, or is it just recently?
It has just been recently,
So
within the last month and a half.
so what happened?
So at the beginning of September, he had pushed her down on the playground, choked her, jumped on top of her, choked her, and then once he got up, he kicked her in the stomach.
Wow. So this is one boy we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not going to say his name either because he's a child and I don't want to identify anyone whatsoever.
Right.
So she's in the same class as this boy, I'm assuming.
Yes, they only have one second grade classroom.
Okay. So the first time, what happened the very first time? What happened?
The first time he had pushed her down, and started choking her, and then once he got up, he had kicked her in the chest.
L- Did you get a call from the school or did she tell
I
you or
did, I did not.
how did you find out?
My daughter told us.
Did she tell anyone, I wonder, when it happened?
I believe so. It was documented with the school.
So they knew about it
Yes.
and they didn't tell you.
No.
Okay. Well, that's a problem I have too. And like I said,
Absolutely.
I've reached out to the superintendent, the school. They have yet to get back with me. If they do, I will put an update. But as of now, I only have your side to go on because they haven't gotten back with me. And I emailed them Friday afternoon. So today is Sunday. Okay, so that happened,
Uh-huh.
and she came home probably. It was good of her to tell you because sometimes kids hide things.
It come out at different points in times. So it didn't. She didn't like come running home and tell us about it. It come out bits and pieces. Basically, she said he was being mean to her.
Okay. So that there was that one incident, and then what happened another time?
Okay, so the next time he pushed her down on the ground again on recess, and choked her. And then when he stood up this time, he stepped on her hand and kind of ground his foot into her hand into the ground.
Wow. How did she tell you about that one?
Not until later on.
Did, yeah, a lot of kids don't. And I'm assuming you probably told her, "Hey, don't be shy. Go ahead and tell us when something happens."
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And then there was a third incident just recently, or no?
Um, so the third incident, he had actually brought a pocket knife to school and had brandished it to her and told her he was going to kill her.
Wow. How do you
Yeah.
find out about that?
Um, I did not find out about that until later on as well,
From her?
from her and as well as from some teachers.
So people knew about it.
Yes.
Is this like on the playground or in the school building or where'd that happen? Do you know where that
Th-
happened?
this was on the playground.
Okay. So do you know that like the day that happened, did did anyone from the school, staff, teachers, did anyone know about it that day?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because they ended up confiscating the knife from him.
Okay. So that happened that day, and
Yep.
I'm assuming you got a phone call from the superintendent or principal to tell you what happened.
No, sir.
Did you ever get a call from them telling you what happened?
No.
How I'm a dad, I would be furious.
I am. That's why we're here right now.
And so did someone actually did they witness that happen? Like other kids or whatever?
I'm not sure on that. The school is very hush hush about everything.
Okay. So you're not so you believe your daughter that this did happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. but they're not telling you, like, they didn't say, I think the right thing to do would probably to call you and say, "Hey, Dad, you need to come down. Let's talk about what happened." And they lay it all out to you. They didn't do that.
They didn't do that. And I had some teachers that had told me what had happened, but they fear higher up. They don't want their name involved. They don't want it known that they're giving me information.
Well, that's I shouldn't laugh because that's the school's job because when you give your kid to the schools, they're there to protect your kid. So
Absolutely.
they should give you all the information possible. So is that also why? I mean, obviously you're upset at what happened, but are you not happy with how they handled the communication?
Not at all. And I believe it's our rights as parents that we should know what's going on with our children. We shouldn't have to hear it from other sources or other kids or our kids. The people in charge should be notifying us.
Okay, so eventually you found out everything.
Yep.
And, like, what happened then? You go to the school or you call them or something, or what happened?
So what had happened was is they had to have the child shadowed by an adult to make sure everybody was safe.
Okay.
At this point, that adult overheard him telling his friends to attack my daughter because he could not get to her.
The adult who was looking over your daughter allegedly heard that boy say that.
Yes, and he was shadowing that boy to make sure
Oh,
that he
oh, he
was
wasn't shadowing your daughter, he was shadowing that boy.
no. Yes, sir.
Oh, he was shadowing that boy to make sure he didn't do anything to
Yep,
anybody.
yep, yep. And
Okay.
then at that point, this is where we were notified. The police department was called, and we were told there was a police report made. And
Wow.
this is kind of when we were made aware of what had been going on. This is when we found out about everything.
So, all of it really didn't come out until that time.
Yes, sir.
Is that because did the police question your daughter?
No, they did not.
Did this did the school?
I believe the school did. Yes.
Okay, but the police, it sounds like the police questioned this boy.
I I am not sure on that.
So they're not e did
When
the
I
police
went to
go ahead.
when I went to the police department the following Monday because that happened on a Friday, there was no police report made at all. All it said was there was a note that they were called to the school for this. That was all.
Okay. Who told you there was a police report?
The school district told us they had called the police, so we assumed there was a police report.
Okay, and there may not be. They may have just went out
Correct.
there.
Yep.
So, the student disciplined in any way that you know of?
Um, from what I have been told, same thing. Nobody wants to speak up because of the fear of being in trouble. But I was told he was suspended for 10 days.
Okay. And then there was, I know last week, a school board meeting because when they expel a student, I think the school board has to vote on it.
Yes, sir.
And you were told, or did you hear that that was going to happen?
Yes, I had heard kind of through the grapevines that it was going to be on the topic for the school board meeting.
Okay, so you went there, but it never happened.
No, sir, it did not.
But you did speak at the meeting and talk to the whole board about everything.
I did.
Was that did they just listened to you? They probably didn't ask any questions, did they?
No, they did not.
Okay. So where do we stand now? She's going to school, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
And we don't know if that boy is back or not.
He is not back. When I had spoke to, I had waited for a call. So the superintendent, I had placed a call to her the following day after the school board meeting. And only thing she could tell me is that he has no return date for school. That is all that I was information that I was given.
Okay, so she did tell you that. And like I said, I reached out to them and I know when you're dealing with children and underage, it's very difficult for them because they may not be able to say a lot to me or maybe even to you.
Right.
So how is she doing? Is she okay going to school or how's she doing?
She is okay. She has a little bit of anxiety. from everything that's going on. We are getting her, help outside of school, to help her deal with these emotions and what has happened to her.
Has she dealt with 7 years old bullying and that, like, in the past or anything, or no?
We have never had an issue in the past.
So
But
it's a
I do know, from a lot of reports from parents, that this boy had a lot of problems last year with bullying, and I've even had several stories sent to me, um, talking about it with emails between the teachers and the superintendents from last year as well.
Okay. So what did it for the school district? You are telling me that this boy literally threatened to use a knife to kill your daughter, and that is what made the school district remove him from class.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't removed from class. He was removed from going out at recess, and then
Oh, so
he was made to have a shadow at that point.
okay. Um, wow.
Yeah,
So
so she still has to sit in class and see this kid when he was there.
when he was there, but now he's not.
Now he's not.
But it would be best. What would you? It sounds like, if everything you're telling me is true, and like I said, I don't have the school district side. I've asked them. Um, it sounds like this boy. He's troubled. He needs
Yes,
help. It sounds. He sounds like. Is that? I mean, you obviously want your daughter safe, but it seems like this kid needs help.
he does, and I believe that if the right steps are taken, he can be a good kid, and his behavior can be corrected.
And that's where we see a lot of these cases. And I hate to say it, I've covered many of bad things happening at schools, stabbings, shootings. Many times you look back at the kid and it's instances like this that the kids have been involved in, and the kids don't get help. Is this an example of how, as soon as you see an issue with a kid, that everyone should be helped? They should be helping this kid, right?
Yeah, I believe so, and I think that's where they're failing.
Because it could be this kid who could turn up in 5 years to go and shoot up a school.
Yes, correct.
So is it the, I don't know, is it the parents? Is it the system? Is it the school? Or is it all of it, really?
I think it's a combination of all of that.
Yeah, because we don't know the parents, don't know what's going on there. I don't wanna judge anyone, but it sounds like the school district could, I was gonna say, could they have handled it differently, but did they knew those other incidents, they did know about them or they didn't?
They did know about them.
They did know about them, okay.
Yes.
So the minute they knew about that, you think you should have been called,
Oh yeah, correct.
and they didn't call you at all.
No, not until the final incident.
Have they apologized for that?
They have not.
I just wonder why they wouldn't let you know. But because
That,
apparently you said there were other teachers and other people that were giving you information,
yes.
but the superintendent, the principal never officially called you on the phone and said, "Hey, we got to tell you something."
No, not until the final incident.
Why was that? Is that why those other teachers and they probably felt bad, and that's why they told you what was going on?
I mean, I believe wholeheartedly that they were scared for my daughter, and they were scared that nothing was being done. And I believe a lot of it is because of FERPA, and I believe that they're only allowed to disclose so much. Just like they should be able to tell me if he's coming back to school, so I know my daughter's safe. And I'm being told that that's not information that can be shared with me.
Yeah, and if you're telling me this boy threatened the life of your daughter, you should be made available to the information of his whereabouts.
Absolutely, and that's what we're pushing for.
Yeah, because if he was an adult and he's not,
Yep.
um, he would be in court. You would know who he is. So
Yeah.
maybe the system needs to change a little too.
Yeah, I think, and the bad part is our school's weapon policy. In their handbook, it quotes the law back to January of 1995. The state of Michigan made it illegal to have a weapon in a weapon-free school zone. Any violation of that is immediate expulsion.
Now, you said he had a knife with him,
Yes.
like a pocket knife, or do we even know?
I was told a pocket knife, and it was confiscated.
Okay, and he's probably like 7 years old too.
Yes.
So a 7-year-old, yeah, with a pocket knife. That's yeah, that's not a good thing. And he showed it to you, or he threatened your daughter with it.
Yes, yes, and I've got the police report from that because I went above the school and went and filed my own police report.
Did they actually write it down and
Yeah,
write up a report?
yes, sir. And then I actually had to go back twice and pretty much tell them that they were going to file it with the prosecuting attorney in Saginaw. And they told me, well, they're not going to do anything with it, but I guess we'll send it over.
That's weird. At that
Yeah,
point, they had to have they didn't interview your daughter, or they never talked to her.
yeah,
They
yeah. They
did.
talked to her the day they did the police report.
Okay, that's what I wanted to be sure of.
Yes,
So
sir.
they didn't just take your word for it. They
Right.
they they interviewed her.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. And
Yes.
they didn't think the prosecutor would do anything, so they were just like, let's just not deal with it."
Basically, they said, he's 7 years old and boys will be boys, is what we were told that day.
As you know, nowadays you can't have that type of.
No.
I was working in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a high school, but there was a kid there that stabbed 23 students. One morning, he pulled the fire alarm. He had two knives. He just started stabbing everybody. And I bet that kid had issues back in his in when he was younger.
Right.
Is that your big point also, to let the police, let the courts, let the schools know that there's always a hint that something's wrong with somebody?
Yes, absolutely. And we see more and more of it, but when it comes to this, it looks like they're turning a blind eye.
Yeah, and maybe they're doing something, but they can't tell you. But your point is they should be telling you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you have? This is the first time as a parent you've dealt with this.
Yes.
What you've talked to other parents in the last few days that have dealt with this stuff. What advice
Mhm.
would you have to other parents? Because some parents they might be not as aggressive as you. I know I would be. I would be marching
Right.
down there to the school. But what would you tell other parents that are dealing with this stuff?
I would tell them just that: stand up, make yourself heard. We're not going to go away. We're not going to back down. We want justice for our daughter, not only her, but for all of the students. Our children should be able to go to school safely.
Yeah, and I ask you, well, why don't you just homeschool? But you had a good answer for that. What was that?
Well, if I take her out of the school, what's going to happen to the other people, the other students? He's going to find another victim. It's not going to change.
It's not going to solve the greater problem.
No, absolutely not.
But I guess you understand why parents would do that.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can also see, since we've started this, it's been a whirlwind. It's been a lot of stress. There's a lot of positive, but then there's a lot of negative that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think maybe that's why a lot of parents, they choose to vacate. They choose to move. Our school is we had two second grade classrooms last year. We're down to one. We've had a large amount of students that have transferred out, and
So
I and
kid
I believe that that's why.
so parents are just giving up with the public school system and saying to hell with it.
Well, yeah, because you get nowhere. You can send all the emails, you can make all the phone calls, but they don't tell you anything, they don't change anything, and that's what we want. That's our goal. We want to change the laws on it. We want to be able to make it safe,
You would
and
think
then we
every
believe that parents should be notified.
Yeah, you would think everyone would think that.
Yes. Well, we just got a newsletter from the school last Friday that stated there was some cyberbullying, and they sent it to all the parents. My question is, where's the newsletter about the gun or the knife threat at school? Where was that at? Who dropped the ball on that?
So they did not let all the parents in the whole school know about that?
Absolutely not. Nobody knew about it until I brought my story out.
Yeah, and that's why I ask, why do you bring your story out?
To protect our children. That's our biggest goal here. The parents need to know there's other students in the same classroom. with this boy, and if he can't hurt my daughter, who's he going to hurt next?
Yeah, and it's also there's a major mental health problem going on in this state that needs addressed.
Yes, I agree.
Wow. So the next step from here, you don't know if he has been expelled or not because they won't tell, or well, no, that they didn't bring that up at the board meeting, right? They didn't do it.
No, no, they did
Okay.
not.
Okay. So
Yep.
are you hoping he gets expelled, but are you also hoping he gets help?
Absolutely, I'm hoping for both of them things. Like I had said earlier, I believe that he could be a good young man. I believe maybe some counseling and some direction, and I think it can be changed.
Yeah. So you're not willing to give up on anyone. It sounds like you're willing to give even that kid a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
he's not a lost cause, as people would say. I believe he needs some direction. He needs some help.
Yeah, because we don't know what's going on at home or in his.
No, absolutely not.
My dad always told me you never know what goes on behind closed doors of people.
No, you don't, and you can't speculate on anything.
Yeah,
You don't know. Nobody
yeah.
knows. And except for that person.
And schools nowadays, they can't take anything lightly, right?
No, not at all. In light of everything that's taking place at all our schools, no.
Damn. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go. Let me know what happens,
Yes, sir.
and I don't mean to cause any trouble by putting this out there, but hopefully it will make the school do something. But also other parents that are watching, it'll help them realize that they're not alone. That they can
Absolutely.
stand, they should stand up and not be quiet, right?
Yes, sir.